The Democratic chairwoman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Dianne Feinstein, released a 500 and change page, a little short of 600-page summary of a, was it 3,000 pages or 6,000 pages? 6,000-page report that the Senate Intelligence Committee put together, basically indicting the CIA and their contractors for committing crimes in the name of the United States and for, in some cases, actually lying to the Bush administration about how effective this was. On the other hand, I mean, you know, Dick Cheney's running around freaking out about this. Why? Because some of the people that they tortured said, oh, yeah, Saddam Hussein, he's got weapons of mass destruction. Because people will tell you what you want them to, you know, what you want to hear. If you simply say, hey, you know, I want to know if Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. We think he might. Yeah, hold on just a second while I pour water down your throat. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And then Cheney, you know, walks that over to Fox News and says, look at this, look at this. I mean, the Bush administration used the phony intelligence that came out of torture to provide a rationale for invading Iraq, which is nuts. I mean, that's a crime. The Washington Post has put together sort of a thought cloud from the Senate Select Committee, or the Senate Intelligence Committee. Here's the 20 key findings about CIA interrogations. It was not an effective means of acquiring intelligence. Bing! It rested on inaccurate claims of their ineffectiveness. These are actual quotes from the report. It was brutal and far worse than the CIA represented. The condition of confinement for CIA detainees were harsher. It repeatedly provided inaccurate information. It actively avoided or impeded congressional oversight. It impeded effective White House oversight. You could do it again. Yeah, sure. It complicated and in some cases impeded the national security missions. It impeded oversight by the CIA's Office of Inspector General. It coordinated the release of classified information to the media. These are quotes pulled together by the Washington Post. It was unprepared as it began operating. It was deeply flawed throughout the program's duration. They overwhelmingly outsourced operations, coercive interrogation techniques that had not been approved, did not conduct a comprehensive or accurate accounting of the number of individuals it detained, failed to adequately evaluate the effectiveness, rarely reprimanded or held personnel accountable, ignored numerous internal critiques, criticisms, and objections, was inherently unsustainable, and damaged the standing of the United States in the world. Thanks to the Washington Post for pulling that together. Center for American Progress's blog, Think Progress. Igor Volsky writing, the 5 most damning revelations from the CIA's report. Number 1, torture did not stop a single terror attack. Not one. It's like we gave up our honor. We gave up our standing in the world. We gave up our reputation in exchange for a desperate, fearful plea that terrorists wouldn't hit us again. Well, not one terrorist attack was stopped as a consequence of torture. And the CIA lied about this, which is Igor Volsky's number 2 from the Senate Intelligence Committee. The CIA lied about it to us. It lied about it to the media. It lied about it to the White House. As Senator John McCain, the Republican from Arizona, pointed out today. There was number 3. Not everyone approved of the torture policy. There's a huge debate inside the CIA about whether this was legal or not. Number 4, the torture methods were far more brutal than originally reported. I mean, they come right out and lay out some of the details of this one guy who was chained in a cage and died of hypothermia. Rectal feeding, rectal hydration, not because it's medically necessary, but because it makes people compliant? Really? Keeping people from sleeping for a full week? This doesn't cause people to want to tell you what you need to know. It makes people insane. Torture doesn't work. In fact, the interrogations that led to the actionable intelligence that was used to find bin Laden and the interrogation of Mohammed Atta, or not Mohammed Atta, who's Sheikh Khalid Mohammed, the guy who was the mastermind of 9/11. When they first interrogated him, it was sitting down, being friendly, normal FBI interrogation techniques, and he spilled the beans. Then the CIA said, we'll take over from here. They started waterboarding the guy, and they got nothing. And number 5, waterboarding caused physical harm. It's Saudi Arabia and Al-Qaeda-linked Saudi citizen Abu Zubaydah became completely unresponsive with bubbles rising through his open, full mouth during one of the waterboardings. They drowned him and then brought him back. So what do we do about this? What do we do about this?